gentlemen, it is your host, Andre Norman. Second Acts Podcast, Securus Original. We are back for another season. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. You know, we only bring you the best of the best. I have my brother with me, all the way from hot land, as they call it, Georgia, down south, the red dirt, all that. Randy Hazelton. How you doing, bro?
I'm great, man. I cannot be better. Andre, it's a pleasure to be here with you. I've been looking forward to this. All is well, man.
Oh, listen. So you know,
well.
Second Acts is a podcast we do, and it goes straight into the prison system. 650,000 people around the country are going to watch this. So shout out to Michigan. Shout out to Rikers Island. Shout out to New York DOC. Out to my boys in Florida. All the team down in Texas. Oklahoma, we see you. Stand up. Washington State. Hometown Boston. I mean, we go Houston, Harris County. You say all my homies down in Alabama. Louisiana. Where you at? Hey, Angola, I'm coming. I promise your brothers in Angola I'm coming. I might bring him with me. But we're working on it, man. If I forgot you, Nevada, I know you there. Pennsylvania, we with you. Jersey, of course. Can't forget Jersey. I mean, we got so many places and spaces, man. Sisters in Perryville, Arizona. What's up? We're trying to touch lives and bring them the information that they don't usually get. And when I saw your story, I said, they got to beat Brother Randy.
I appreciate that. I mean, that's amazing. Shout out to everybody tuning in. I mean, just getting this good knowledge that Brother Andre is always giving. And then shout out to you for expanding the platform and reaching all the people that you do and doing the good work that you do. So, no, I'm here for it. Anytime you want me to tag along with you, please call me. I'm here for it, brother.
Got you. So where did you grow up?
So I grew up military.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. I never lived anywhere more than 2 years until I went to college. I was fortunate enough to go to college.
So give me some states. Give me some cities.
So I literally lived in every state on the East Coast between New Jersey and Florida, except for Maryland and Delaware. I lived in Kansas. I lived in Germany. I lived in Korea. I lived in Michigan. So we bounced around all over the place.
What branch was that in?
So Pops was in the Army. So he did 30 years in the Army. He was an ROTC kind of student coming out of school, first generation to go to school, did ROTC, and then joined the Army, never looked back.
Took you, how many brothers and sisters?
So I got one brother that I grew up with, another brother that I did not, that lives in Boston, as a matter of fact.
Great city.
So fantastic city. Good guy. So it was two of us kind of coming up, moving around.
So y'all just pack up, let's go.
Pack up. That was the normal, man. It was changing environments every year or two.
How was it making friends over and over and over again?
You know, so it was the normal. So it's something that we got used to. I feel like it made me adaptable, but by the same token, it put a level of kind of depending on myself because I knew I would get into relationships and then be on the way out. So I got very self-reliant and very independent, but it was easy for me to mix in different environments, different communities to kind of mix in.
Gotcha. My son, we lived in Boston. He moved to West Africa.
Okay.
Monrovia.
Wow.
Then he moved to London. Now he's back in Atlanta. So he's lived in like 4 countries.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Just bouncing.
That's
so
amazing.
The adaptability it plays well as an adult.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. It's harder as a kid.
It's harder as a kid. But again, in retrospect, it's like, hey, okay, now I can kind of move in different environments and adapt to different people.
You're going to be adult way longer than you were a kid.
Yes, that's a fact. That's a fact.
But it's still traumatic as a kid to be like, damn, again?
Yeah.
You got to leave toys and stuff behind.
Yeah, man. Schools and the teams and the whole
What was your favorite city of all the cities if you could pick one?
So I will say, like, Atlanta's my favorite city, hands down. But I didn't grow up. I didn't live there coming up. So coming up, my dad had an appointment at the Pentagon in D.C. We lived in Northern Virginia. So Washington, D.C. area, shout out to D.C. Loved that place. Did my first 2 years of high school there. That was, I really enjoyed that place.
Gotcha. All right, you know what I'm saying? Chocolate City on the map, you know what I'm saying? All my brothers in the Southwest, North Side, you know what I'm saying? Good Hope Road, Auburn, you know what I'm saying? We love D.C.
You know about it.
I've been on, you know what I'm saying?
Brother.
We've been up on 7th Street, a.k.a. Georgia Avenue. We move around.
Yep, exactly that.
Berry Farms. I know they tore down the park, man, but Berry Farms used to be the place listen, Berry Farms was Ball Haven.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
So you graduate, you go to college. Where'd you go?
Graduate, go to college. I went to Hampton University.
My sisters went to Hampton.
Okay, see, your sisters make good decisions, Andre. Sisters make good decisions. I went to Hampton University because my parents, everybody went to, anybody in my family that went to college went to an HBCU. It wasn't a lot of folks that went, but they all went to HBCU. So in my mind, it was, this is what you do. If you go to college, you go to HBCU. So Ended up going to Hampton.
Hold on. Did you go to Hampton Institute or Hampton University?
See,
My sisters
you
went
know
to
your
Hampton
history,
Institute.
brother. Okay, so they're official. I went to university.
Okay, you knew.
They got fancy, and I went to the university, man.
Shout out to Rick Mahorn.
Yeah, no doubt. So, so I went to Hampton. It was like a social kind of thing for me more than anything else, if I'm being honest. But went to Hampton and studied business because I was always attracted to business. I was a kid in school that would go and get the blow pops and sell them for a quarter. I was selling, yeah. I mean, I was selling something. And so I took that. I mean, that kind of interest led me to studying business in Hampton. And that's what I ended up doing. Studied business, graduated, came out, worked in corporate America, hated it, couldn't stand it.
What did you do in corporate America?
So I worked for a big.
You don't have to name, since you said you hated it. Don't say the name of the company. They're probably my consultant.
And there's some good people.
I probably consult for them.
Damn, I feel.
I got like 350.
Y'all know who you are. We had a good time. I really enjoyed a lot of relationships.
You have to go do the history to find out. But I'm just saying, what did you hate about?
But it wasn't a company. It was
business.
corporate America, right? So one, it was this is a big Fortune 100 company that was a 100-year-old company, kind of good old boy network, and their core business was nothing I had any attachment to. So one, there was just no connection to it.
They were making money.
It ain't making money. That's what I'm saying. And so if you way up and you owning it, I can totally understand that. But for me, coming in on the ground level, I just couldn't connect to it. And then I was one of, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 blacks in the office, and most of these folks were like Ivy League and that kind of. It was just a shell shock environment.
Right.
Come from HBCU, come from being in communities where it's people that like me, and then all of a sudden,
from all black people to all white people.
Pretty much, yeah. And so, but that's what I did. So I came out, worked in corporate America for a couple of years until I just couldn't do it anymore, and I quit. I just left.
You must not have been married with kids then.
No, still not married with kids.
So what did you do when you quit? Did you move to Atlanta then?
So no. So I worked. I came out, moved to Philly with the first.
That's a tough town.
Yeah. But it came out, moved to Philly. Had a lot of friends in New York, so spent a lot of my free time in New York. Got a promotion with that company down to Atlanta, and that's what brought me down here. And then when I got down here and I saw people like me doing things I had never seen people like me doing, it really got that entrepreneurial bug on fire. And that was the point at which I left that job.
You said, I'm coming to Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm coming to Atlanta. I'm now in Atlanta. I don't want to be in this environment, and I'm going to figure something out on my own terms. So I left. I left without a plan, though. It wasn't like, I'm going to go do this. Now that I know what I'm going to do, let me go ahead and leave this job. I got it backwards. I left the job.
So you struggled for a while?
Plan. Oh, my God. Well, so here's what was happening. In corporate America, when I was working in corporate America, I was investing in real estate. And the market was really hot, so it was easy to buy low and sell high. And so I was buying properties and selling them and saving the money to where when I quit, I had a little bit of cash to play with. So for like a good 6 months, I was just out here being outside, young, single in Atlanta, 25-year-old, just enjoying life, not with a plan at all. But I wasn't struggling yet because I had built up that kind of.
I got that. Were you here during Freaknik?
No, man, I missed that. I'm still mad at my brother for not inviting me down when he was down here getting to it. But that's another story.
So you transitioned.
I did. I transitioned. Was out having a good time, watching my money kind of dwindle. And before I was against the wall, and I've been and realized I've been spending so much time in bars and restaurants and lounges, me and a business partner figured that we could open our own. So we took money we had left, took a lease out on a commercial space, and started to build a bar.
What was the name of it?
So the name of it was Cafe Circa. It's still there today. We no longer own it. We sold it in 2012, but that's where we started, in the restaurant business.
Cafe Circa.
Cafe Circa, Edgewood Avenue, corner of Edgewood and Boulevard.
Go right support those people, man. That's history. Ward.
Yeah, no, it's another group that owns it now. I can't think of the name. It's changed hands a couple of times, but that's where we started in restaurants.
And how did it go?
We got an ass kick, man. We didn't. I mean, you kidding me?
You know what you was doing?
We didn't know what we were doing at all. At all.
It sounded good though.
No, it sounded. I mean, listen, it sounded
Own
like
a restaurant,
the best
lounge in
idea in the world. You know, not terribly original, but it sounded like a good idea. But we didn't know what we were doing at all. So we had a bunch of people coming in, a bunch of people spending money, and no money making it to the bank. They were just leaking out everywhere, paying too much for this, paying too much for that, theft. that and because we didn't know what we were doing and didn't make any money, it took us to the point of filing bankruptcy.
Woo.
Yeah. Yep. We filed bankruptcy. So we had one thing going for us, was that restaurant. People were coming in it. People were spending money. We had no other means of income. So we had to keep that protected. So we filed personal bankruptcy to kind of wipe all the debt and keep the business protected.
Got you.
Yeah.
So when you leave that business, now what?
So we keep that business. We're in the business. We're working it every day. People are coming in and out. We're meeting all types of interesting folks. And some of the people we meet had restaurants in the airport, in the Atlanta airport. So they started talking to us about the Atlanta airport. And the more they started talking to us, the more interested we became. We out here struggling, trying to figure out how to make this business work. And then I'm hearing about restaurants and airports where airlines are bringing the customers. The registers are constantly ringing. You're not dealing with full service bar and worried about parking and worried about this and that. And so we started exploring that. And that's kind of what took us from that initial restaurant to getting into the airport, was people open up the door by bringing us into conversations.
What was your first business in the airport?
We kept walking into it. So we partner with a company that had really owned like half the airport in terms of restaurants.
Gotcha.
So they invited us into an opportunity to co-own 12 restaurants with them.
What was your down payment on 12 restaurants having just filed for bankruptcy?
So we had no money. So we said, listen, we'll do it, but we need you to put up the bag for us.
They needed someone to run it.
And someone to run it. So we need you to finance our debt, our portion of the debt. And what we can do is sell our restaurant, Cafe Circa, to put up a little bit of money towards what is our portion of the debt. So they did 80% of what we would have owed, and then we did the other 20 by selling Cafe Circa, cashing out, and putting that money towards that.
Got you. Yeah. And you got into the airport.
And we got into the airport.
What year was that?
That was 2012. 2012, we got in Hartsfield Jackson, Atlanta Airport. Yep.
And you came in with 12 restaurants. Co-owners?
Yeah, co-owners, a minority partner in 12 restaurants. So we had like a small
equity
piece. Yeah, a small piece.
So were you running them, or were you just owning part of equity?
No, so we were not operating them. I mean, we had responsibilities, quality assurance checks and that kind of thing, but we weren't operating. We were learning.
Investors.
It was like apprentice season. Like we were sitting there studying the business, understanding how these bigger companies operated a bigger business. So it was that kind of thing. It was an education for us.
The first time I was in the airport, I was 17. I went on an exchange student trip to Europe. Yeah. The second time I was in the airport, I was in a federal airlift, being transferred around the country by the feds, prison to prison. So I hadn't had a lot of airport experience. Yeah. And so, of all the businesses, I never thought of as a kid, because poor kids don't go to the airport. Yeah. I travel to this day. Yeah. Airport is always 90% white. Yeah. And 10% us. Yeah. If you don't count the workers.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
So it's like, for people to say, wait a minute, there's business in the airport, it's hard for them to see it or think it because they've never seen it.
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, even for me, who like moving around a lot, I was in airports. I mean, we drove some, but I mean, we moved. I lived overseas, and I was in airport. I never thought about the people that own the businesses that you walk by. I mean, the little, Auntie Anne's pretzel. It never dawned on me. So even for me, it was like that was something.
So
new.
you 6-year run, 8-year run, and COVID hits. What do you do when the airport shut down?
We almost went out of business again. I mean, it was our entire business was in airports, and the world is not traveling, so there's zero money. Now I had learned enough to put money aside, but that's gonna float for so long. So
do you still have to pay rent on the spaces?
No, so they gave us relief. We didn't have to pay rent. But I had people depend on me, employees. I didn't just want to let them go, so I'm still carrying a payroll. But we didn't have rent. We weren't bringing in.
How do you carry a payroll with no income?
Not for long. You do it for a very short amount of time until the money dries up. But what happened was both the city and the Fed put out money to help businesses that were suffering from COVID. And I know a lot of us remember, but it was tough. And so because of those monies that the cities and Fed put out, we could float.
Got you.
But we didn't know that going in. I mean, I had no idea.
Nobody was ready for COVID.
Yeah, we had no idea.
In prison, we thought it was like a big conspiracy to keep us locked in.
Yeah.
It was like they came with this thing to lock us in our cells.
Yeah.
People were dying.
Yeah.
But in prison, you don't know. You just know what you see on TV or what somebody said to you. All of a sudden, there's this big disease going around that's killing people. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Then they started dying in jail, and they're like, yes, it is.
Wow.
So it's different. COVID was different in prison.
Yeah.
Because you have 2,000 people in the building.
Yeah.
With everybody's in close proximity, and it's not the best medical center on the planet Earth.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? They have medical services, but it's not a hospital.
Yeah.
So it just, once somebody gets something, it shoots around the block fast.
Like wildfire.
Wow.
Yeah.
You live in a dorm and somebody gets COVID. You live in a dorm.
Oof. Yeah.
There's like 300 people in the dorm, and one guy's got it.
Yeah. And it's over.
Everybody got it. And you just better hope you don't have underlying circumstances. Because there's nothing they can really do to say who's going to catch it, who's not.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, I never got it, but I probably got it 10 times.
Yeah. Wow, brother. But
so how did you come out the back end of COVID?
How do we come out the back end of COVID? So really, the money from the city and the feds is what floated us, and it was enough money for us to last when nobody was really there buying anything, and so. But then the world started opening back up. People started traveling again. And then, so between us having that cushion from those incentives and then people coming back, we were able to get by.
Did you expand beyond the 12 yet?
Yeah. I mean, we are now at 20 restaurants total. And we started buying little restaurants here and there when we could, like one-offs and two-offs, and doing it ourselves so that we didn't have to be a partner with anybody. We can control our own destiny. So we started buying them.
So now you're like the airport guy.
I mean, maybe so. I look at myself like a hamburger salesman in airports. But yeah, I mean, we intend to grow as much as we can. We just going for it while we can.
Got you. So you're running this business. Black guy in the airport, well, there's not a lot of black people. Yeah. So I don't know about the administrative side of airports to a certain extent. So what is it like being that guy that works in the airport that has to be dominated by people who don't look like you?
Yeah, I mean, so you got the government side who runs the airport. I mean, these are owned by either the cities or the states. And the people that populate those jobs a lot of times is black folks. So that's cool. Now, the business owners is another thing, to your point. Most of the airport, like restaurant real estate, is owned by a handful of really large companies, and these are largely European-based companies, like white folks. But there are folks like me, black folks, minorities, women, that are a part of these contracts because there's incentive for governments to give opportunity to minority and women-owned businesses. So there's more of me than you might think. But still, most of the pie is controlled by these large foreign national companies.
So I got a ton of people sitting in prison right now saying, damn, that's a whole new thing. So if I'm sitting in jail and I'm in prison, I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, that sounds good. Yeah. But how do I do it? Your story's phenomenal, but how do I do it when I get out?
Yeah. So here's one way to do it. And I'd encourage everybody coming out to consider this. I mean, since the summer of George Floyd, and we know about that, there has been a bigger push to bring in black and brown owned business or black and brown business owners. So like when you come out, you can go to your city, you can go to your state and say, hey, I am a black owned company, minority owned company. And there's a certification for that. They call it WMBE or MBE, Minority Business Enterprise. Mine is called Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, DBE. But all that is a minority or women-owned business that does a range of things. It could be service, it could be restaurants, it could be whatever you want. But I would come out and get that certification. There's stuff you got to fill out, but it doesn't cost much. And start with setting that up and then letting your state or your city know that, hey, my name is such and such, minority-owned business owner, here to do business in whatever industry you choose.
And then you look for the set-asides in that space.
That's right. Yeah. Or just the opportunity. Sometimes not set-aside, but sometimes it's here are contracts specifically for these folks.
It's a set-aside.
Yeah, that's true. I'm thinking incentive. See, I'm selling COVID. Yeah, that's a set-aside. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, and then I would say this. If you're coming home and you want to do that, and you want to set up a business, and you're not, I tell this all the time. Know what you know what you don't know.
That's a fact.
If you don't know business, you don't know accounting, you don't know hiring and HR, you can team with other people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can be the primary owner, but you have to hire well.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't hire well, then you will be out of business fast.
That is 100%
regardless of what
true.
kind of contract you get. So you can do it, but build your team. Build a real team that can do the real work that you can't do.
That's
Otherwise, when that thing comes up that you can't do and you didn't hire someone to do, that's going to be the thing that takes you down.
Yep. 2 things almost took me out of business. The first we talked about was COVID. The second was hiring the wrong people.
Hired your family?
No, didn't hire my family. Knew better than that. Love my family. But just not knowing what was needed for the business. Like you said, getting the people that can do what you can't do or has the strengths where you don't.
You
just not getting
how
not
did
getting good at that.
how was hiring just black people worked out for you? Because you're the guy, you're in charge.
Yeah.
How is it just like hiring black people? Like, I'm going to hire all the black people I can find.
Yeah. I mean, so so my company is, I don't know, our employees 98% black. I mean, it's on the south side of Atlanta. Like, that's where black folks are. The airport is down in the community where black folks live. So, yeah. I mean, you think about people getting to work and all that, making it easy. That's our client base. So that is, I mean, it's not, it doesn't even take effort for me to hire black people. That is the pool.
What is the hard part about keeping them?
Look, man, why are you trying to get me to talk about? So I
want these people to come home and know what they shouldn't do.
Yeah. So here's what's important to do. I don't have a lot of white folks trying to work for my company. I don't know that that's intentional or not. Could be coincidental or whatever.
If a black person walks out of jail, they apply for a job, whether it's at the airport or wherever what's 5 things they need not to do to make sure they keep the job, and 5 things they need to do to make sure they level up?
So here's a couple of things. I mean, 5 things that folks need to do. One is, I don't know, man. I was raised by people that like there was a dignity about work, like hard work. Like, yeah, this is not, people show up to the job like they're doing you a favor for showing up, like getting a check. Come ready to do work. You know, I mean, come knowing that this is serious.
Can I translate that? The way you showed up and mopped that floor for $1 an hour or $1 a day, you show up to this man who's paying you $18 an hour. You work just as hard as you did in prison. 100%. I watch people buff floors.
Yeah.
I mean, they run around in prison, scrape gum off the floor, sand and buff the floor.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
For $1.
100. Like,
and they come home and like they give you a hard time for $18 an hour.
Right. $18 an hour. I mean, so little things like that, it really does make a difference. Is an entitlement, but anyway, so come in seriously.
Come in
ready to work. But that will pay off. I mean, you give me a hardworking person, I'll take that over someone that thinks they know everything all day long. So come in with that attitude. Listen, man, it's hard work is hard. We don't need to make it, we leave the personal stuff at home. We don't need to make it harder by coming in, bringing in, and everybody's dealing with everything that life brings to you. But this just isn't the place for it. So you don't want to make the environment harder by coming in with like a negative attitude. So I would say that. And I would say initiative, like do the job that you're here for. But when you have an opportunity to do something else and do it well, like that kind of thing to an employer stands out. Like go the extra mile. Because folks that are looking to build like I am are looking for people that can build alongside with me. So that's like people that take initiative, people that got leadership skills, people that can motivate and manage a team. And that oftentimes is outside of the scope of like an entry-level job you might be coming in. But I'm telling you, when I see those people that are like doing the thing, like I'm like, yeah, keep an eye on that person, keep them close. I want to know what they want to do. I want to see, like, because we need builders alongside of us. So those are a couple of things I would suggest.
My first job, they hired me to be an outreach worker.
Okay.
And during my break, I learned how to answer telephones. Good afternoon. How may I help you?
Yeah.
He's not available right now. May I take a message?
There you go.
The lady at the front desk taught me how to answer phones and filled out the little note cards.
Yeah.
And I sat with the accountant, Tom. Shout out to Tom. He showed me accounts receivable, accounts payable, taxable income, spreadsheets, QuickBooks.
Yep.
I sat with Ken Johnson, who's the executive director, hiring, firing, HR, planning, strategy, training. I sat with Bianca. I sat with all the people throughout the business.
Yeah.
I sat with her sister Eva. She used to write the grants. I did $25 million in grants. I mean, I sat with everybody, but my job was outreach worker.
Yeah.
I even cleaned the toilets. I did every job. I wasn't trying to be seen. But when I left after 4 years, know what I had? Skill sets.
How about that?
I had all the things I'm doing now are based on the things I learned.
Yeah.
What my friends are like, man, I'm going out to hang out. I'm going to smoke a cigarette. I'm going to see my girl.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm learning how to answer these phones.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to do numbers. So how do you manage all that money?
Yeah.
Because Tom, back at the nonprofit, during my break time, showed me all this stuff.
Yeah. And then how valuable were you when you had all those skill sets?
I ran no building.
That's what I'm saying. So we look for folks of value that are looking to do the next thing and demonstrate that they got the intention to do it. Well, I mean, that's exactly what you're saying, brother.
I looked at that job as an opportunity as a mini college. I couldn't go to college for accounting and for leadership and for nonprofit management and for secretarial work, but I got it all inside of the building.
Yeah.
So if I came to work for you at the airport, before the end of the year, I'm going to know how to do every single job.
Yeah.
If not for you, but for me. Yeah. So when I walk out of here, I got more skills.
Yeah.
Which means wherever I go next, I have more value. So I had an understanding. And now that I run my own company, I understand videography. I understand social media. Yeah. I understand HR. I understand what you can and can't do. Yeah. So even though I'm not an expert in any of it, I understand it all.
Yeah. I mean, here's what I will say, just kind of what we were just talking about. You know, people are always looking for value. I mean, and I'm not talking about in price. I'm talking about things that improve upon whatever they got going on, right? So when I opened up a restaurant, didn't know a thing about what I was doing, but was in there every day busting my ass, me and my business partner. And then 3 years later, we're getting looked at by these large multi-billion-dollar companies saying, hey, we want to partner with you. Because we in there we getting after it. And they can see that. And they can see, you know what, these guys, if we bring them into our business, they probably gonna bring that energy to us and help us find another dollar. Now, mind you, we didn't know anything about restaurants. Get into it. It was our work ethic, our drive, and people perceive value.
They
people
can teach you what you don't know.
They put you right in their system, and then you go do the same thing. That's happened multiple times for me over and over. So I just can't stress. It really doesn't matter. It is not as important where you start as it is what you do with wherever that is, wherever you start, whatever you into. I mean, when you go hard at that, over time, it just pays off one way or another, I have found. So I just can't stress. Like, go after it, man.
I got a ton of friends who go to Necker Island and hang out with Richard Branson.
Okay.
He has retreats all the time, and he flies people out, and he'll do like a 20, 30 people retreat, and he'll sit with them and chill for a weekend for a check. But he's a good guy. And my brother, Joe, has raised more money for Richard Branson's nonprofit than anybody on planet Earth. So they go there all the time. It's not uncommon for me to talk to somebody and say, I'm on my way to Necker Island.
Wow.
So, but one of my friends went out there, and they sitting there, and he asked Richard, he says, what do you do when you're not running your 400 companies? He says, I look for good people to hire because I don't run my 400 companies.
That's it.
So when they saw you, they saw someone that they could hire. They just got to give them a little tweaking, a little information, and they can run one of the companies, which frees them up to go run another company.
Yeah.
Ben Hardy and Dan Sullivan have a book called Who, Not How. So if you want to open up a hot dog stand, it's not about the hot dog stand, it's about who's going to run it. Yeah. Because if you don't have someone to run it, that means you're running it.
That's right.
And then once you're running, that means you can't run another one
until
that one's done. So every business or every idea needs a who.
Yeah.
So for those companies, you are the who.
Yeah.
Now that you're in position, you're looking for who's.
That's right. And I'm no. If you are that who, if you are that bull in there, that engine, people gonna want you. If you create value for these folks, the Richard Bransons and others, they will want you.
100%.
Period. Create that value. And then you become, before you know it, you look back and you got a team under you. And you start looking for people so that you can sit back and think about the next thing you want to do. But it starts with getting in and being that dog about whatever you're doing.
Do you know anybody who's ever been locked up?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you relate and help them transition up?
Yeah, man. And unfortunately, you know, I have not been locked up. So I acknowledge a lot of things that I can't directly kind of empathize with, but I still feel like you got to know that you are beyond whatever circumstance you in. Like, you got to have a vision for yourself that is so tied to your spirit, like what you believe about what is in store for you, that nothing else matters but like that. And so that is all I can say to folks is like, know what you want in the world and be so attached to that whatever you're going through at the time is just what you're going through, but you're getting to that thing. But you got to define for yourself what you want for yourself in this life. That's what I would say.
I was at a place in Arizona. It's called Perryville. It's a women's prison.
Yeah.
And for me, it's one of the hardest things. I go to men's prison all the time. You kind of see see homies locked up. It's like unfortunately it's normal.
Yeah.
Me seeing men locked up to me is not like, wow. When I walk around a prison, I see moms, grandmoms, daughters. It's like it hurts different. It hits different. Yeah. And so we got these women in here who are struggling. They've been through a lot more than I can say on film. You know what I'm saying? I need a message exclusively for women. You know what I'm saying? On mobility, hope, restoration, restoring, something. Whatever you feel like, man. I want something for the sisters.
Yeah, man. It's similar, man. I have engaged with a bunch of different types of folks, got all different types of friends, all different types of colleagues and all that. I have yet to find a type of people that have some that another type of people does not have. Like the folks that the winner, I mean, the things that the winners have in them and about themselves, our sisters have, like our cousins have. It's all, you got to know that you're made of the same shit and not be defined by other things that you've been told or circumstances you have been through. You got to know that is in you, and just like it is in everybody else, including those people you admire. And that's got to mean more to you than these other messages that you get or than what your environment suggests. And that's all I can say is, like, you are that diamond, like that. You are that gem, whether you know it or not. Like, you are that. And when you tap into that, it's lights out if you want it. But that, you got to choose that, though. Like, ain't nobody going to do that for you.
Oh, say that last part again?
You have to choose that. Nobody's coming to save you. There ain't no rescue boats. Everybody got stories. I know some are harder than others. But for everybody that's starting out from the ground level, you have to choose it and do it. And if you don't, you're going to move at the whims of the rest of the world and other people that are choosing what they want.
So how does it feel to be rich?
Man, that's a hell of a segue.
No. I mean, I'm rich and I'm loving it.
No, man. You know, I don't. There's a part of me that doesn't yet. I'm not missing any meals. Not accept it, but like identify with it. Like it.
Hold on.
Like,
how many businesses you got at the airport?
Oh, we got. You know, we got. Listen,
Give me about a number. How many businesses you got at the airport?
We got like 20.
You own 20 businesses, but
I'm not. Yeah.
At 20, yeah, you kind of doing it.
I don't disagree with you on paper. It's I don't know.
How does it feel to be rich?
So, like, all right. So I'll say this:
you can give all your money away. I'll take it.
Right.
Give it to
and
me.
I ain't doing that. Like, I'm not saying I don't like it. So there's a freedom about, you know, having money. It means being able to do the shit you want to do and that kind of thing. And I'm not disputing that. I'm not trying to be cute about it. Like, I would much rather have it than like, as between bankruptcy and being here, I would choose this every day, all day long. I am like, period. It's get there. It's nice. But there's also, like, I don't know. Jordan won like how many championships,
6.
right? And he went after the second, like he went after the first. He went after the third, like he went after the second. And he was already great. There's just a point where there's something about I want to compete and win. You know what I mean? But
that's after you become rich, you start worrying about money.
I get you. No, that's a fact. No, before that, bankruptcy is like, I need a dollar. Yeah. But no, man.
That's the thing. How do you feel? How you feel like being rich? I don't feel about it more. I'm trying to be a winner. I'm trying to be the ultimate winner.
I'm trying to be a winner.
I'm already rich, and I want to be a winner.
Yeah. I mean, and they say, and again, I'm not trying to be like you, but they say beyond the point, it doesn't really change your happiness. You know what I mean?
Change your happiness.
It doesn't change.
Money can buy happiness.
Temporary.
Listen, I went to a really nice steakhouse the other day.
Okay.
Money can buy happiness.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
Real talk. So if you think it can't, go to a nice steakhouse and try to tell them.
No, that's a fact. It can buy some experience. It can buy some experience that'll blow your mind.
For 100%.
100%. No, I'm not disputing that.
Yeah. I got a Porsche outside. What you driving?
See, I'm driving a Porsche too. Which one you got? Hey, listen to this privileged conversation.
Oh, listen, man. I used to ride around in handcuffs in the backseat of a state car.
Yeah.
I drive my Porsche. You know what I'm saying? I started to get the Aston Martin truck.
Oof.
Did you see
that's
it?
Nice. I have not seen it.
Aston Martin SUV?
That's nice.
Dude.
It's got to be nice.
Everybody in Atlanta got the Lambo. The Lambo truck.
Yeah.
I got to be different.
Okay.
So I was going to buy the Aston Martin truck.
Okay.
just because it's different and there's none of them here.
Yeah.
So when I first saw it, probably a couple now. My man Pushman Bitch, I got one, but it's like $250. And that thing's mean. But it's, you know what I like about it?
I didn't even know they had a truck.
When you pull up, nobody knows what it is.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it. You know the Lambo truck on site.
I want to go see that.
Dude, when you pull up in an Aston Martin truck, initially nobody know what it is. They might think it's a Hyundai. So I laugh at you.
Are you going to get it?
The only reason I didn't buy it is because I'm never home.
Okay.
So I got a $100,000 car sitting in my driveway with like 30,000 miles on it.
I got you.
So paying $250 for a car that's gonna sit in the driveway didn't make sense. When I stopped moving around as much, I would do it.
I got you. Okay.
That's the only reason I do not own it is because I'm never home.
You put me on. You put me on. I thought I was a car guy. I haven't heard about that, but I know it's nice. I know it's nice. Okay.
Phenomenal.
Okay.
I remember when I came out of the Laker game. Penny Marshall used to be Laverne and Shirley, was a friend of mine through another friend. Shout out to Chico. We go to Laker game. We sit in her seats.
Yeah.
We're on the floor. So we come out to special VIP exit where all the stars came out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Chris Tucker came out. He got in the car. He hit the button. It sounded like a fighter jet starting up. It was an Aston Martin. And I said, I got to get one of those. Okay. But again, I was never any place where I'm settled enough I could actually have the car and drive it enough to make it make sense.
Yeah. Then
when they come out the SUV, I was like, I gotta have it.
Silly. Oof. I gotta check that out.
There you go being rich again. You didn't say $250. What are you talking about?
You know what? You can buy happiness. Let's be. No,
it's like $250. He's like, yeah, I gotta go get one of those.
That's heavy though.
The Aston Martin truck is a beast.
Okay.
You're not different in Atlanta with a Lambo truck or Rolls Royce.
That's a fact.
You're just average.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Like I said, I didn't know they had one.
I'll let you boy. I put you up on game.
See? Rich guys. These rich guys, man.
No, I hang out with rich people. And know something? None of my rich friends have the Aston Martin truck.
Okay.
The first time I was working with the Patriots. I flew to New England and I'm doing some interviews there, and a lady drove by the Aston Martin truck. I've only seen it once on the road.
Yeah. Like I'm telling you, this is literally the first I'm hearing
2
about
years.
it, so I have not seen one.
I saw one 2 years, maybe 3 years ago.
Okay.
So it probably came out in 21.
Okay. Rich folks, man. We gotta hang out more.
So what's next? You're at 20 something.
Man, I'm trying to get another. I'm trying to get these 6 championships. Now I'm gonna keep growing in other airports, and then we're gonna open up some restaurants outside of airports. Just we call them street side, but
coming back outside.
Yeah, come back outside. COVID almost killed me, man. COVID almost killed me. But my friends.
COVID killed the ones on the street too.
Yeah, but my friends that had like drive-throughs, they have record. Like Chick-fil-A did record sales with drive. So I need to have that. Don't have all your eggs in one basket. So I'm gonna have some quick service outside. So that's next for me.
Are you doing it with investors, or how does that work? Are you taking on investors? Are you taking on mentees? Are you have a school? Are you teaching? How does this work?
Yeah, so starting out, not taking on investors, because I'm doing like one store, and then I'm going to grow from there. There will be a point when I'm taking on investors because it's just expensive to grow. But to get one small quick service place, we can handle that. In the meantime, we like to teach and build from within. We like to
I got to come work for you to learn?
Yeah, man, we gotta get you on that fryer, man. We gotta get you on that fryer. We gotta get you on that grill, flipping burgers. I heard the story about when you went to get a burger, middle night. So you familiar with the?
Yeah. But no, I literally worked at McDonald's when I was like 14.
Oh, come on.
Who didn't?
Hired.
When I was in high school, I worked at McDonald's right in front of Boston Garden. Okay. So it was like the lunch rush. Crazy.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Crazy.
Nah, you're too expensive for me.
Yeah, for sure.
I couldn't afford you, brother.
Not at the hourly rate you could.
At any rate, we couldn't afford you, brother. But we're gonna grow and hire from within and try to build future leaders, man. We need future leaders to come along for this.
One thing I'm doing is we're creating trainings. So the trainings that you're creating, if they're video based, we could love to just pump them in right here, man, and just let the people see. So imagine somebody sitting down for the next 6 years.
Yeah.
They can just watch your 10 videos over and over. And by the time they come home, this will be the best employee you ever saw in your life.
I love that. And you know what? It's funny that you say that. I've helped a young woman. She's phenomenal, dynamic, been in the franchise business for a while. I've helped her develop courses on getting into franchise businesses. that we're gonna put out for folks, especially our folks, to understand. So that when you get into a business, you're not getting in like we did, which is just coming up with an idea on a drawing board and thinking this is gonna work and people are gonna love it. But you getting into business that have been proven, that have been around 30, 40, 50, 100 years. They call those franchises. I think if black folks, if anybody, but particularly black folks, took all the entrepreneurial energy that we have and put it in proven businesses, and it doesn't have to be restaurants, like janitorial services. It could be handyman service. I mean, there's a franchise for anything you can imagine, and the startup cost can be low. Again, we don't have to go in with a $2 million McDonald's. You can go in with a $10,000 janitorial service and have all the infrastructure that you need to get a business going. So anyway, I want to teach people about that. So I'm going to take you up on that. I'm going to take you up on that.
So before we go, if you can go back and see 12-year-old Randy, who was bouncing around the world, up and down the coast, who was sure, unsure, in and out, whatever you want to call it, what would you want to tell him now, looking back, for them uncertain days that he had?
Yeah, facts. I cannot stress how important it is to know how much you got in you. And I just like, hey, boy, like, it's all there, one. And then two is, like, understand yourself to know what you want in the world, and then figure that out so that you start moving towards that thing early. Because time, like, these things take time. The sooner you get started on it, likely the further you'll get toward it. So it's like, no, you got it all, it's all in there, but figure out what you want and start to set your sails toward that. You'll be surprised where you end up in time.
I started 8 years before I came home on this mission.
You see what I'm saying?
For 8 years, I was walking in the direction, didn't have a 100%. I'm walking in the direction of success.
Yeah.
I'm going to be successful, and it's that way.
Yeah.
And I just did everything I thought that was going to lead me to success. And lo and behold, I'm successful.
So how could you not be? I mean, you said 8. I mean, that's
just
the
to get
thing.
out.
You did the thing. No, but like, that's the thing. And now you sit. I mean, it's I salute you, brother. Like, sincerely, man. Like, this is.
I trade my hand for 20 stores in the restaurant.
Would you? I think about it. I mean, I feel like you got a lot going on.
I just signed a 9-country tour.
You see what I'm saying?
But I got to go. I mean, unfortunately, I got to go get on stage.
Travel the world.
I could just hire a CEO and let them run it, and I could just stay home. I could still go on tour.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So I could take your position, leverage it up, hire the right people, and then have 20 stores and then go back on road.
Finding the right people, that's a fact, man.
And are you the right people? We are looking for you. I'm saying this brother needs help. He's trying to teach you how to be your own boss. There's nothing better. And what made you want to come talk to this audience? That's what we're going to close with.
Man, I mean, one, you reaching out and me kind of coming to understand your story, I think is remarkable. And the work that you're doing, I'm just a fan and a supporter of that in general. So honestly, some of it is just the man that you are in the world today. But two, I don't want, like, we need to have hope about ourselves. And I'm mostly looking for people that are, say, the most disadvantaged, or the odds are against them and all that, man. Like, the same things that create success for the people that got it, we got in us. And so I want to be a part of kind of igniting that understanding in the people that might not understand they got it. And that's some of the folks that you talk to.
Gotcha. Well, you heard it here, direct from the man himself. I'm saying we're going to pull up and match the Aston Martin trucks. I'm saying, no, it's a real talk. Right. But it's not the toys that we buy. I'm saying it's the love that we share and the knowledge that we give. I'm saying we want you to do better, be better, and have better. And that comes from, man, putting the work and the sacrifice and believing in self. There's nothing better than that, man. There's nothing greater than you, because you was created by the creator himself. And he doesn't make mistakes or accidents. So whatever limitations you think you have, just understand you're maximizing another area. I'm saying don't worry about what you don't got. Focus on what you do got, because that thing can work to your benefit. And as we know, I say this all the time. If you want me to come to your facility, go see the program people, see the warden, see the superintendent, be like, yo, Dre, the dude on the podcast, say they'll come up here. And I will. Free of charge, no questions asked. If they invite me in and give me clearance, I'll come. So I will see you on that side, or maybe I'll see you on this side. Whichever way it goes, man, this is all love. It's the Second Acts, Securus Originals, and it's your host, Andre Norman. I'll see you next time.